The next step is to cut the tapers on the legs. So I've gone ahead and laid out the marks, and it's roughly, the leg at the bottom is going to be roughly 1 inch. Down from the top it's roughly 6 inches. I want to cut a taper on both inside faces of the table. The layout lines can be a little bit tricky, so what I like to do is measure the top face first, and the points of the tapers are going to meet in the middle and then go out from there. So I measure the 6-inch line all the way across on the inside faces, and then 1 inch on the corners, and then draw my lines. And I'm going to go ahead and make the cut. If you don't have a straight edge long enough to span the distance, just one of your cut-off pieces that you've used works just as well. Okay, I'm ready to make the cuts on the taper. And what I've done is I've laid the guide rail right along the cut line, and I've secured the back of the piece, or the top edge of the leg, with a clamping element to secure the stock so it's not going to go anywhere. And I've also put a clamping element on the other side of the stock just to provide a stop against which the face of the leg can be pushed up against. And I've clamped the rail on both ends, and I'm getting ready to do the cut. The clamping element on the top of the leg is close enough to the edge so that I have clearance for the saw to enter the stock at the 6-inch point, and I should avoid hitting that clamping element and not cut into it when making the cut. Okay, I'm ready to make the cuts. I've used the stop on the back of the saw and the rail to prevent any kickback as I make a plunge cut. I do recommend that you do that to give yourself a little bit more stability, and also use both hands to make sure you control the saw. You might have a little jumping around when you first enter the cut. I'm going to do all of one side of the tapers on all 4 legs first. I'm going to keep the offcuts for each one because I'm going to have to flip the setup around to accommodate the tapers on the other side because the angles are opposite. So I'm going to go ahead and make this cut. Okay, here's the setup for the second taper, and I put a little tape on the offcut to secure everything on both ends, and that should keep everything nice and steady. I still have the stop on the end of the saw, but since I'm making a cut into the stock, it's not as critical. I just need to make sure that I watch out for that end, that I don't go too far and cut into my clamping element. So I'm going to go ahead and make the cut. So here's the tape I was talking about. And there you have it, all the tapers are done on all 4 sides. So the next step in the process is to make the cutout on the front stretcher for the drawer. So I'll lay that out and do that cut next.